This is ABC Radio Melbourne with Ali Moore.
I wonder if you live at Fisherman's Bend. I don't know whether I say in Fisherman's Bend, at Fisherman's Bend. There are apparently 23,000 local residents. There was a very big plan for turning it into an innovation precinct. That was under a Liberal government, goes back more than a decade. The government's also got big plans, 80,000 residents and around the same number of jobs in that area, particularly through research, science, engineering, that sort of thing. But what exactly is there at the moment? The Auditor-General says that there are big planning delays for the whole of Fisherman's Bend precinct. If you know it, give me a call. Samantha's done that in Glen Waverley. Hello, Samantha.
Hi.
What did you want to say?
I understand that there is a big precinct that's been earmarked for the University of Melbourne. There's going to be a new Fisherman's Bend campus, and I don't know how up-to-date this knowledge is, but I think they're going to build new defence and aerospace manufacturing and capabilities there and research.
They've talked, but that's been on the cards for a long time, hasn't Samantha? I don't think it's started, has it?
I think they've announced that it's going to go ahead, but again, that's something that you would need to fact check.
No. Let's do that. Look, let's do a little bit of fact checking. Guy Naselli is president of the Fisherman's Bend Business Forum, managing director of the NSL Property Group. Guy, hello.
Hi, Ali. How are you going?
Good, thanks. Can you just give us a visual? If I'm down in Fisherman's Bend, and I know there's a whole lot of sort of different precincts, but what am I going to see?
Yeah, good question. So the reality is it's broken up into a number of different segments. So traditionally it was always working class, so you'll see a lot of industrial warehousing in one of the precincts. More later and more recently, is a lot of the office space has evolved and been built. But where the big push is coming from or coming towards is the residential sector as well, along some of the major thoroughfares or gateway streets into the area where you see these apartment blocks building. So it really is a combination of 3 or 4 different asset classes all combining to make it an amazing precinct.
But bottom line, and I know that you've looked at the Auditor-General's report, things have been pushed out.
They have been, and that's the disappointing part, Ali. Going back as late as 2012 when Matthew Guy rezoned the whole area, some of these discussions and transport issues that we've been hearing about are still apparent. We still don't have this tram that comes out of the CBD. So as per your previous call, it's all good and well to have a university set up there, but how do these poor students get from the city there? Not everyone drives, not everyone pushes a bike.
And they actually haven't, have they, Guy? I don't think there's any progress on that front, is there, with the University of Melbourne second or third campus?
They certainly have started with demolition works.
Okay.
So the old GM site, the General Motors site that was purchased by the state government, has now, for the most part, been levelled, and you're starting to see the first lot of infrastructure and amenities being constructed, but certainly there's no buildings erect or established as yet.
And in terms of housing, I said there's about 23,000 people who live there. Is any of that apartment blocks that have been built as part of these development plans, or were they sort of already in the catchment and on the edges of the catchment?
No, that was certainly part of the new wave of development that was forecast for the area. So these towers have been built, and it's great, and it's certainly some green shoots there, but it falls well below the 80,000 that we're hoping to get to. So
is your contention that that's not going to happen until you can get those public transport links up and running?
Yeah, so as president of the Fisherman's Bend Business Forum, we represent a lot of the stakeholders, the owners, the developers who live and operate in that area. And I can tell you that a lot of them are disillusioned by how long it's taken. Certainly they're willing and able to invest in the area, but they say, look, we're not going to be spending our hard-earned money if we can't see any of this infrastructure actually happening.
Well, exactly. I mean, if you're looking at families, there was a pledge by the Labor government in 2014, so that's, the Liberals that had the initial vision, then Labor took over. There were going to be new schools, walking tracks, cycle links, all of that sort of thing. Are there any new schools there?
There are, yes. So they've now opened up one new school, and there's plans for a second, which they're going to have to cater for these new people coming into the area. But certainly, again, well below what the expectations were.
So, Guy Naselli, what are the issues? Why? I mean, we had an earlier caller saying high development fees, power issues, contaminated soil. I mean, what do you put the delays down to? And I suppose I look at it and I think this is an amazing place to live. I mean, it's on the water. It's a hop, skip and a jump to the city. It's, you know, we're talking about people not wanting to have to go too far out and not being able to afford places. I mean, it's I would imagine, a great place to live. Why isn't it that we haven't prioritised, you know, providing the housing there?
Yeah, spot on. I mean, there's no city or precinct this close to any major city anywhere in the world that is underdeveloped or under-resourced like Fisherman's Bend. It's just unheard of.
So why is that?
Yeah, so we look, the way I see it, it probably comes down to we call it the 3 C's. The communication back to the stakeholders, you know, and having an element of transparency has never really been there. The other one is costs. Obviously, like many institutions and governments, certainly funding and making these things happen from a cost point of view has been prohibitive. And then the other thing, which is probably the biggest one, is the collaboration. Fisherman's Bend, unlike any other precinct, calls upon a number of different local departments and agencies. And when you have this many people all trying to put a puzzle together, this is the result. So it almost needs someone from the top really directing it and really making these things happen. So they're probably the 3 main summary points.
Guy, good to talk to you. Thank you.
Terrific. Thanks, Ellie.